Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming to this month's Sweetness of Aging seminar series on aging. We appreciate you being here, and I do want to introduce two speakers this evening. Our first speaker is Angie Niedermeyer, and I have to say that when our Businesswomen Roundtable discussion group was planning this seminar series, we talked about various topics we were going to be talking about, and then we talked with a couple experts in the field to see what order they should go in and that type of thing. Every person that I talked to when we said Social Security, Medicare, Angie is the person that we should be talking to. So she was the first person that I called for this. So I'm very pleased to introduce Angie Niedermeyer. She's worked for Byams Insurance since 2002. She's been selling Medicare products since 2005. She has over 3,000 clients, hence the expert in the field. Serves on the advisory board for AARP and is in the top 10 producers nationwide. So please help me welcome Angie Niedermeyer.
Hi, as she said, I'm Angie with Byams Insurance, and I specialize in Medicare products. I specialize in Medicare Supplements, Medicare Advantage plans, and prescription drug plans. So I'm going to do a Medicare basics with you. I'm going to throw out a lot of information. It's a little bit dull, but I'm going to do my best to give you this information, but I do think you'll find that it's very informative. If you have any questions as we go through, if I go too fast or something, please don't hesitate to ask any questions. And I couldn't possibly put everything in this presentation, so again, if there's something that I didn't cover, don't hesitate to ask me, okay? So I'm going to go over Original Medicare. I'll go over Medicare enrollment periods. I'll go over Medicare Supplements and Medicare Advantage plans and prescription drug plans. So I'll do that one at a time. With Original Medicare, it's a federal health insurance program, and it consists of 4 major parts. And to be eligible for Original Medicare, you have to be age 65 or disabled for 2 years, or have end-stage renal disease. So one of those 3 things would qualify you for Medicare benefits. To sign up for Medicare, you'll just contact the Social Security office. If you're not working, you don't have to sign up for Medicare. You can continue on to your Medicare or your employer plan and delay your Medicare benefits until you retire. So there's no penalty there, and that's a really big misunderstanding with people is they think they need to sign up for Medicare just because they're age 65. If you're still working, you do not need to do that. So for the 4 parts of Medicare, there's parts A, B, C, and D. So I'm going to go over each one of those individually to give you a better understanding of each part because it is confusing. The first part's Part A, and that's the hospital benefits of Medicare. There's no monthly premium for Part A as long as you paid into the Medicare tax while you were working. If you pay into that tax for 10 years, there's no premium for that benefit. So that's why when you're on an employer plan and still working, you would continue your Part A benefits because you're not paying that portion. The Part A benefits covers your inpatient benefits. So this benefit that I'm going to go over with you would be if you only had Original Medicare. So the days 1 through 60, the deductible is $1,316. So any time that you're in the hospital within days 1 through 60, you're going to pay that entire $1,316 for the hospital stay. If your stay lasts longer than 60 days and up to 90, you're going to pay $329 each day. So then it goes into a per day copay. If you're in the hospital from days 90 through 150, then you're going to be responsible for $658 each day. So the longer you're there, the more you're going to pay. Days 90 through 150, you're only allowed to use that benefit once per lifetime. Those are called your lifetime reserve days. It's unlikely that you'll have only Original Medicare, so it isn't probably something that will happen to you that you'd have to use those lifetime reserve days because I'm going to talk to you how you would supplement these benefits, but that would be one reason or another reason why you wouldn't have Medicare Part A by itself. You definitely want to supplement it. The other service covered under Medicare Part A is the skilled nursing facility or transitional care. This benefit kicks in after a 3-day hospital stay. After 3 days in the hospital, days 1 through 20 are paid in full by Medicare, so you would owe nothing. A typical skilled nursing stay is about 2 weeks, so most of the time that benefit would be covered in full for you. But if you happen to be in the hospital longer than 20 days, days 21 through 100, you would pay $164.50 each day. So as you can see, that's going to add up. So those deductibles are your inpatient benefits of Medicare. And again, that's only if you have Medicare and nothing else. Okay, that's not with a supplement. That's just your original Medicare benefit. The next part is your Medicare Part B benefits. This is all the outpatient services like your family doctors, specialists, tests, anything that's outpatient. And this is a majority of what we use insurance for. The premium for Part B, it starts at $134, and it is based on income. So if you have a higher income, like $85,000 per person, then that's when premiums start to go up. But a majority pay about $134 out of their Social Security check, if you're drawing Social Security. So you will pay that premium, and depending on how you're drawing Social Security. If you are drawing Social Security, it's an automatic deduction. If you're not drawing Social Security, then they're going to bill you every 3 months for it. Okay? So the benefit here is that you would be responsible for the first $183. After that deductible is met, and that's a calendar year deductible, then you're responsible for 20% for the rest of the year. That doesn't sound like much, but there's no ceiling on that 20%. So if you run into a problem with maybe needing chemo, radiation, or multiple MRIs, 20% is going to add up very quickly. So again, that would be another reason why you'd want to supplement these benefits. So that would be Medicare Part B by itself. The next part is the Part C portion. And this is the part that gets confusing because the Advantage plans are one of your health insurance options. So you can elect this option to supplement A and B, but they've given it the title Part C. Medicare Advantage plans are Medicare approved health plans, and they're sold by private insurance companies. This is where you can purchase your HMO or your PPO products. They're kind of like your employer plans or your individual plans. An HMO means you have a network of doctors, so you have to make sure that your doctors participate, unless it's an emergency. If you're traveling, then of course you're covered, worldwide. PPO is the preferred provider organization, and that just means you have in and out of network benefits. If you stay in network, you're going to pay the lower copay. If you go out of network, then you're going to have a higher co-insurance or copay that you'd be responsible for the service. So it's definitely going to pay for you to stay in network if possible, but you have a little bit more flexibility with the PPO. And with that, they tend to be a little bit more expensive. Private health insurance plans, again, are approved by Medicare, and they provide coverage that's at least as good as or better than your original Medicare benefits. So when you enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan, the idea here is to lessen your costs for your care. So you're not paying those full deductibles that I just went over under Part A and Part B. It's to lessen that amount for you. So they typically have lower out-of-pocket costs for you, and they may offer services that Medicare doesn't cover, like vision, dental, hearing, fitness programs. Medicare Advantage plans are pretty known for that. It is something that people get really excited about when I mention you can get dental, but it's definitely not something that you want to base your decision on when you're buying your plan. First and foremost is what plan meets your health insurance need, and then you can fit all those extras to it. With an Advantage plan, they come with or without prescription. So if you buy your plan with drug coverage, then you cannot go out and purchase a standalone prescription plan to go with this. And that is something that happens. People will meet with me, and they'll buy a very inexpensive Advantage plan, and then they'll think they'll go out and buy Humana's $17 plan, and they'll work together. What happens when you do something like that is it cancels out your health insurance. So you can only do one or the other. And another reason why you should have an agent, to make sure you're not doing one of those things, to make sure you have health insurance, because that's very important. With an Advantage plan, you're only going to use one card. This type of insurance is the primary insurer. So when you go to your doctor, they're going to bill directly to the insurance company, and the insurance company is going to determine how the claim gets paid and what your cost is going to be. Everything goes through Medicare. However, the insurance company is the one that determines what the copay and the co-insurance is going to be. It's not going to go through Medicare first. Okay, it's going to go through the Advantage plan. To join an Advantage plan, you have to be entitled to both Part A and Part B. You'll continue to pay your Part B premium. That's another thing that's misunderstood. People often think that if you sign up for an Advantage plan that you don't owe your Part B premiums. You definitely owe your Part B premiums because Medicare is definitely involved in these programs. These plans are still regulated by Medicare. You also have to live in the plan service area. You can't be living in Pennsylvania and buying a plan in Florida or vice versa. You have to buy the plan based on basically your zip code. So if you move, you're going to have to change your Advantage plan. They're not flexible enough to go from state to state. Okay? The only medical question on an Advantage plan is if you have end-stage renal disease. There are some exceptions to that, so, but typically, the only medical question they're going to ask you is if you have the end-stage renal disease. So no other health questions are going to apply to getting to the application. Okay, so that is basically the Part C portion of this, which is the Medicare Advantage plan. The next portion is the Part D, or the prescription. This is the part of where people call with the most concerns because the cost of their prescriptions are so great. Part D is based off of a model standardized plan by Medicare. So Medicare regulates the drug plan as well, and they're sold by private insurance companies. These drug programs have to follow that model. So there are 4 parts to each plan. So each drug plan, whether you're buying it built into your Advantage plan or buying it standalone, they're going to be following this template or this model. So the first part is the deductible phase. Each plan can charge up to a $400 deductible. They can charge less, but they can't charge more. So a majority of the standalone drug plans charge a $400 deductible, but some of them can charge just a copay during that phase, as long as it's not more than the $400. So that's the cap or the max that a drug plan can charge. Once you get through the $400 deductible phase, then you go into the next part, which is the coverage phase. This is where you're going to pay your copays or coinsurance or a percentage for the medication. You're going to pay a copay for each prescription until you reach $3,700. So when the plan and the member both reach $3,700, then that's bumping you into the next phase, which is everybody's favorite, the coverage gap or the donut hole, where there's a lot less coverage. So that's the third phase. The third phase is the donut hole or the coverage gap. At that point, you're going to pay 50% for your generics and 40% for your brands. So if you're like many of my clients who are diabetic, 40% on a diabetic medication can be quite high. So at that point, you're paying quite a bit for your medication. And that's the same on all drug plans. So I'm often getting phone calls mid-year saying, I don't like my plan anymore because I'm in the donut hole, I want something else. It's the same on every plan. That donut hole's in the same place for everybody. Each year they do change the drug program, so the donut hole is becoming less. So they are, each year you're going to pay less and less, but we still have those donut hole or the coverage gap in each plan each year. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Once you get through the donut hole, and if you've spent $4,950, then you're in the catastrophic phase. So it's there's light at the end of the tunnel, but it's a really long tunnel to get there. At that point, you're only going to be responsible for 5% of the cost of your medication. So that is each stage is for the prescription plan. As I said, the prescription plans can be purchased either built into the Advantage plan or as a standalone plan with a supplement. So you would do one or the other. Each plan is different, so they vary from company to company. The premiums are different, the copays are different, so you have to find the drug plan that fits your specific prescription needs. And then you can change it once a year. Plans also have a formulary, and they're tiered, typically tiers 1 through 5. The lower the tier, the lower the copay. So you want to try to get your medications on those lower tiers so you have a lower copay. Each plan is required to cover at least 2 drugs in each therapeutic category. So if you're taking a medication and it's no longer offered on the current plan that you're on, there has to be at least 2 drugs for you to choose from. So that's when you'd go back to your doctor, ask them if there's anything else that you can take that's in that category, or you can see if you can have it authorized for different circumstances. So you can't be denied a medication, but you might have to jump through a hoop to get it. There's also a network of pharmacies, so you want to make sure that your pharmacy participates, and they're categorized as preferred pharmacies, non-preferred, and non-covered. A preferred pharmacy is going to be where you're going to get your lowest cost. Your copays will be the lowest at a preferred pharmacy. A non-preferred pharmacy is where you can go there, but they're going to have higher copays, so you're going to pay a little bit more for your medication. It's not the best cost for your prescriptions. A non-covered pharmacy means they don't take that insurance, so you're going to pay full cost for your prescriptions. So that is another very important thing when you're reviewing your prescriptions. Make sure your pharmacy participates. Doesn't necessarily have to be preferred, but it is where you're going to get your best cost. There are some programs that you can get to assist with prescriptions, and I have a lot of people that don't even bother to look into this, and I highly recommend, as we're going through prescription plans, that the next stop after seeing me is, or even before you see me, see if you qualify for assistance programs for your prescriptions. They're designed to either pay your premiums, lower your copays, and eliminate the donut hole. So it can be very beneficial for many, many people. And worst thing that you can be told is no. So I always recommend my clients or anybody that I meet with to make sure that you haven't looked at that first, to make sure you're not getting the most help. The programs that do offer help is Social Security offers extra help, and that's for anybody on Medicare. So you can contact the Social Security office, or you can contact Medicare. The next one is PACE or PACEnet, and that is for people 65 and over that live in Pennsylvania. And they have 2 income levels. So depending on your income, you may qualify for the PACE, which is going to give you the most help, or PACEnet, which is going to still give you a significant amount of help, but it's just going to be a little bit higher copays and higher premium for you. But it's a very, very good program. And also, if you're a veteran, check with the VA to see if you qualify for any help there. So that covers the 4 different parts of Original Medicare: hospital, outpatient services, the Medicare Advantage plans, and of course prescription drug coverage. The next thing I want to highlight is the Medicare Advantage enrollment period. This is something that also confuses people, because this is kind of separate from getting into a Medicare supplement and anything like that. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned this today. When you're new to Medicare, you have a 7-month window to get into an Advantage plan. So it's 3 months before, the month of, and 3 months after. After that phase, you're locked out of changing the Advantage plan unless you have a special enrollment. So a certain circumstance that would allow you to go from one plan to another. The next time frame without the special enrollment is called the annual enrollment period, and that runs from October 15th through December 7th. During that time, you can make any change that you want as many times as you want. And that would be the time, if you don't like an Advantage plan, you can go back to Original Medicare, or if the particular Advantage plan that you're enrolled into doesn't provide you with enough coverage, you can maybe go to another company. But that's the only window that you really have to do that. So you want to make sure.
What were those dates for that?
The dates are October 15th through December 7th. Yep. The next enrollment period is called the disenrollment period, and I don't use this disenrollment period very often, but it can be helpful. During this time, you can disenroll from your Medicare Advantage plan from January 1st to February 14th, and that would allow you to go back to Original Medicare. And as we've already talked about, the deductibles is not something that you want by themselves. So if you do use the disenrollment period, you're going to want to make sure that you can get into a Medicare supplement. And so in just a minute, I'm going to go over the stipulations of a Medicare supplement, and one of those being you may have to be approved with your medical underwriting or medical questions. So before you make that decision, you want to make sure that you're able to make that change. But that can be done January 1st through February 14th. And as I said, there are some special enrollments that would allow you to make some other changes throughout the year, like if you were to move, or if you were to lose assistance programs, like if you lost extra help or you lost PACE, things like that. That would qualify you to use a special enrollment, so you can change outside of that enrollment period. But other than that, our hands are tied. You're locked out until that next open enrollment. The next part here is the Medicare Supplements. Medicare didn't give them a part, but it is one of your options to supplement your Medicare benefits. They're sold by private insurance companies as well, and they're standardized. You would be looking at plans A through N. Each plan is a little bit different. They cover some or all of the deductibles, and like I said, each one has a little bit different benefit. They don't use a network, so this is different from an Advantage plan where you have the HMO PPO network. Supplements, you can go to any doctor or hospital in the United States as long as they accept Medicare. You're not restricted to using a local doctor if you don't want to. Supplements typically don't have extra benefits. Some carriers or some insurance companies may offer you a dental discount or a vision discount or a fitness program, but that has to be through the insurance company as a separate benefit, but that's not typical. Medicare supplements typically, or they do only cover your Medicare approved services. They're not going to give you anything extra, and they don't include prescription. So this is where you'd buy that standalone drug plan, okay? And if you do have a Medicare supplement, you don't need a Medicare Advantage plan as well, because those two plans are going to conflict. You only do one or the other. So this is your option that you would choose instead of doing a Medicare Advantage plan. Again, you're going to do one or the other. When you're new to Medicare, there's no medical questions on certain plans with Medicare supplements. But if you decide maybe 5 years down the road, your rates are too high and you want to shop around, medical questions are more than likely going to apply. So you want to keep that in mind, that when you're originally buying your plan or initially, you want to make sure you're taking your best guess, because that you may be in a situation where you can't get out of the supplement, or it's not going to save you any money to change to another carrier because you may not get approved. So definitely keep that in mind. Supplements are traditional, where you are going to show your Medicare card and your Medicare supplement, and Medicare is going to pay as the primary payer. And then, like I said, we went over those deductibles. The supplement's going to come in and pick up a majority of those deductibles depending on the plan that you purchased. And then, of course, you're also going to show your prescription card because you're going to have a separate card in this case. So, what to expect with an appointment with me. Basically, I sit down with each and every one and give them two options. I give them both the Medicare Advantage plan option and the Medicare supplement, and then we fit the prescription to that. And then what I try to do is to educate you well enough so that way you're the one making the decision and I'm not making the decision. I want you to feel like you understand the plan well enough that you can do this on your own. Of course, I'm here to, pick up any red flags or kind of gear you in the right direction, but I do spend about 45 minutes with each person. We go over prescriptions, we go over how many doctors you might use, maybe some pre-existing conditions that you want to share. All those things help and determine which plan works best for you. But we definitely work with enough carriers that there should be something for everybody there. Also, beyond the sale, sometimes you get bills that you don't know what they're for or if they're correct. I tell every client, if you get a bill, call me. I don't want you paying it unless you 100% understand it. Also, you get lots of information in the mail. You get booklets and lots of paperwork. Most people don't understand that stuff. It's a second language, as all this stuff probably is tonight. I want you to call me so you do understand, and I can walk you through that probably pretty quickly. So not only am I there to help with the decision-making portion of this, but I'm going to help you long-term. And then down the road, maybe you need to make a change. I'm going to advise to make a change or not to make a change and kind of get you in the right direction there. My contact information is up on the screen here. You can reach me at 724-1680, and that's all I have. Any questions? Yes.
Angie, I'm sorry, you may have said this earlier, but I still don't understand the donut hole, the phrase donut hole. Can you either repeat or
Yep.
give
So
me a quick summary of
I will.
what
I'll kind of revisit that whole thing. So there's 4 phases to the drug program, and each plan has to follow these 4 phases. So that first phase is the deductible phase. Your plan may or may not have a deductible. So once you get through that $400 deductible that your plan could charge you, then you get into the next phase, which is the coverage phase. That's the copay phase, where you're going to pay just a flat $45 copay or maybe a percentage for one of your medications. You do that until you reach $3,700 in drug cost. So that's the total cost of your medication, both what you paid and what the insurance company paid. Then the next phase is the coverage gap phase. That's when you get to a point where you're going to pay a higher percentage for your medication. So that's the 51% for generic and 40% for your brands. So that's when your prescription cost goes up, is the coverage gap. And that gap's pretty long. You stay there until you've spent $49.50 out of your pocket. So most people don't get out of that. If you get into it, it would take a significant amount of medications. So it's just the phase of the drug program, and every plan has it. You cannot escape it.
What's the logic for that? What was the?
I'm not sure. I guess to maybe keep the cost under control. At one point, we didn't have drug coverage, so everybody paid 100% for their medication, or they went to Canada, or they did the assistance programs that maybe their doctor set them up with. This way, everything stays a little bit more controlled. They give you some responsibility still, and maybe makes sure people aren't spending more on medications than they need to. Because remember, I said they tier the medications, and often I see people coming in with a Tier 5 medication because on their employer plan they paid $40 for that. On the Medicare plan, a Tier 5 can be $150. So I always tell them, I'd go back to your doctor and see if there's anything in that category that can do the same job, and maybe on one of those lower tiers so your copay will come down. But if you're not responsible for that amount, chances are you're not going to make any changes. So that cost just keeps growing, and that gets us in trouble. So there probably is some good logic. Nobody told me specifically what it is, but that's my thought.
I have a question. You said that there's assistance for medications.
Yes.
Now, say he died, so I lost his income, and
Okay.
well, you're the only one that has an income, and I lost part of his Social Security as well. But we have savings, and we have a good amount of savings. But I don't have any income coming in. Can I qualify for some of those
They are going to take
programs even though you have savings?
Yes, well, you could try, but they are going to take into consideration. Kathy probably can answer this a little better than I can, but sorry to put you on the spot there. But they do take in consideration your assets, so they are going to take, So a lot, and I see that a lot where people, their income's real low, but they've got money in the bank or they've got IRAs, and then they're not able to use that. They do. And I'm sure there's some circumstances there that maybe some are taking in consideration and maybe some aren't, depending on the circumstances, but she probably could help you a little more with that.
Don't die.
Well, I can tell you that if he would die, and we don't want that, but with the Pace and Pace Net program that Angie had referenced, you do not have to count his income at all at that point. It is just going on what you would have. So that does make a big difference.
Well, true. Even though there's savings in there.
Yeah, savings.
Yeah, you're right. So we just lost
The only thing that's going to count
his part of the Social Security plus his income. Okay.
And the interest you might generate off of those savings accounts, that might need to be figured in. But any of his prior income is not going to be counted at that point. So that's going to give you really at least a year or so where you would probably qualify for the maximum benefit.
We get mailers about cancer insurance, and I know I've emailed you previously about this. Can you just talk about that for a minute, about why would, what are the advantages? When would you look into it? I mean, obviously before you have cancer, but.
Well, you definitely have to do it before cancer. Yeah. So cancer policies are typically a lower costing plan that just kind of can supplement your income if you were diagnosed with cancer. So there's lots of plans out there. The one that I sell the most is a lump sum benefit plan, and it's a very low premium. Age 65, you're probably looking at under $20 a month for a $5,000 policy. And what it would do is it would pay you cash of $5,000 if you were diagnosed with cancer. So you'd use that money for prescriptions if you need it. If you have an Advantage plan, Advantage plans have a pretty high ceiling as to how much can be spent. So you would probably use that $5,000 towards your co-pays or hospital stays or things like that. Maybe you need a cancer policy to pay somebody to mow your lawn, because you're not able to do it. Or maybe you're working and supplement that income. So the whole idea is to supplement what might be lost if you're not able to provide with cancer.
It's not very much.
Pardon me?
It's not very much, 5,000.
No, I mean, that's just the smallest amount you can buy. You can buy up to, I think, 50,000.
Oh.
So, yeah, typically somebody on an Advantage plan probably would buy a cancer policy or be more inclined to, just because of the exposure is about $6,700 on some of the Advantage plans. And that can be catastrophic in a year, especially if you have a couple bad years.
Yeah.
So I always encourage clients to look anywhere between $5,000 and $10,000 depending on their income and how much they can afford to set aside. So I definitely am a fan and an advocate for those cancer policies, because I know, I mean, you're calling me when there's when you're diagnosed with cancer and you can't quite make these copays. So I'm
And if you had cancer, is there a time limit or?
Yes, it's usually around with the carrier that I work with, it's about a 5-year look back as far as the, having a malignant cancer.
Of any kind of cancer?
Not any kind, a majority. Like skin cancer is not included, but most malignant cancers are.
Only a 5-year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's primarily it's not for treatment, it's primarily for income loss.
Yes, it's a separate plan from what you currently have. It's to supplement, other things. And, with cancer, especially cancer, you're not always looking at just the health insurance need. There's a lot of other things that go on that we do that we don't realize we can't do until you have cancer. So in that case, you need to pay somebody to do it, or, you've got to figure out another way. And so that helps you do that.
But it's not covering medical, really expensive.
It's giving you cash, and you do what you want with it. Yep. Any other questions? Or anything that I covered too quickly? I went over a lot, I know. But I'd be happy to cover anything else if anybody would like me to. Or if you want to see me after, I will be sticking around.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
I know I took several pages of notes, so that was very informative. Our next speaker is Cathy Freeman. She has been employed with Active Aging for 33 years, working in senior center services, information and referral, care management, protective services, PA linked to aging and disability services, and Apprise state health insurance counseling. Apprise helps Medicare beneficiaries of any age with their insurance questions and problems, as well as persons who are new to or soon to be receiving Medicare benefits. Apprise also assists with applications for beneficiaries who may qualify for cost-saving programs for their Medicare benefits. And Cathy, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Active Aging for hosting us this evening. We appreciate that. And I know you have some valuable information for us, so welcome, Cathy.
Thank you. I will just say hello, and then I'm going to show you a webinar that is from the Social Security Administration. I was asked to bring information on Social Security to this presentation this evening, and I did turn to our Angie's and my good friends at Social Security. We work really very closely with them, both in the Meadville office and the Erie office, for help and assistance on a regular basis. And they kindly gave us some information on this webinar that we're going to show, and also just some highlights that we'll reinforce at the end of this presentation. Now, I will tell you that this Social Security one-on-one presentation is geared more towards a younger worker, but we are broadcasting this presentation so many people can see it. But it really does go back to the very basics of Social Security, maybe some things that you didn't realize along the way, how you were paying into it, how your employer was paying into it. So we're going to start by giving you this webinar that was again produced by the Social Security Administration.
Hi, I'm Lauren from the Social Security Administration. Welcome to Social Security 101. What's in it for me? let's discuss some things you probably didn't know about Social Security, like how it can help you at many different points throughout your lifetime, not just at retirement. Social Security has served as a financial safety net for millions of people and their families. So let's take a closer look at how Social Security works. First, we need to keep in mind that Social Security affects just about everyone because most of us pay into it. Do you remember your first job and the day you got your first paycheck? Do you remember what it actually looked like? Were you surprised to see those deductions come out for federal and state taxes and something called FICA or OASDI? I know I was. If you haven't started to work yet, you will see what we mean once you do. It's important to know that FICA or OASDI represents Social Security taxes. You may not have realized this when looking at your pay record, but the law also requires your employer to match what you pay and contribute money to the Social Security Trust Fund. So what do you think we mean by the Social Security Trust Fund? Well, when we talk about the Social Security Trust Fund, we are referring to the money received from the FICA tax dollars. 85 cents of every Social Security tax dollar you pay goes into a trust fund that is used to pay current retirees, widows and widowers, and any eligible family members of retirees and workers who have died. The other 15 cents goes into a trust fund that is used to pay people with disabilities and their eligible family members. Now, you only pay Social Security taxes on your earnings up to a certain amount. That amount usually goes up each year to keep pace with wages. For more information, go to socialsecurity.gov/planners. It's important to understand the money you pay in Social Security taxes is not held in a personal account for you to use when you get a Social Security payment. Your taxes are used right now to pay people who are currently getting Social Security payments. In turn, your future Social Security benefits will be paid by future workers. Another tax you pay as you work goes towards Medicare. Maybe someone you know is on Medicare, like your parent or grandparent. Medicare is a health care insurance program that helps with doctors and hospital bills when you're retired or if you become disabled. So as you can see, your contributions to Social Security begin the minute you start working. From then on, we use your Social Security number to track your lifetime earnings and use those earnings to calculate your benefit.
I'm Justin from Social Security. As Lauren said, we use your Social Security number to keep track of your earnings and calculate your future payments. You should all be familiar with your Social Security number. You may have used it to apply for college, get financial aid, apply for a job, or open a credit card account. Well, our agency is responsible for assigning Social Security numbers and issuing Social Security cards. For most of you, your connection with us started at birth, which is usually when Social Security numbers get requested and assigned. For those of you who are working, you had to give your Social Security number to your employer before you started your job. Your employers use that number to report your earnings to us through your W-2, wage, and tax statement. We use these reports to determine whether you qualify for benefits and the amount those payments would be. We calculate your Social Security payments based on your earnings. The higher your earnings, the higher the monthly benefit. You need to be sure you always use the correct Social Security number so your earnings will be properly recorded. Also, if you ever change your name, you should notify us, as it will help us keep track of your earnings. While we are talking about Social Security numbers, we want to remind you of the importance of guarding your number carefully to protect yourself against identity theft. Put your Social Security card away in a safe place. Don't carry it with you. If you ever think you are a victim of identity theft, you should contact the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov. That's the agency that handles ID theft. Here's an important note. You should get in the habit of checking your Social Security statement at least once a year. If you're age 18 and over, you can go online to create a My Social Security account. My Social Security is a free online account that allows people quick, secure access to their personal Social Security information. You can use My Social Security to keep track of your earnings and verify them every year, get free estimates of your future benefits, and download your Social Security statement to help you with financial planning. For people currently receiving Social Security benefits with My Social Security, they can go online to get a benefit verification letter, a Medicare replacement card, change their address and phone number, start or change direct deposit, and get a replacement form, SSA 1099/1042S. That shows how much you've received in Social Security benefits in the past year and is used when filing income taxes. To create an account, visit www.socialsecurity.gov/myaccount and select Create an Account. You will have to provide some personal information about yourself and give us answers to some questions only you are likely to know to verify your identity. Next, you choose a username and an 8-character password to access your online account. This process protects you and keeps your personal Social Security information private. Over time, we'll be adding new services to My Social Security to allow people to conduct other Social Security business with us online. Social Security offers other online services for young people. Visit our Social Security webpage for young people at www.socialsecurity.gov/youngpeople. This page highlights how young people benefit from the Social Security program. Our webpage for young workers at www.socialsecurity.gov/youngpeople/workers.html explains that Social Security provides benefits to young workers and their families if they become disabled and have worked in covered employment. Today's young workers can expect to spend 20 or more years in retirement, so it is important to begin your financial planning as early as possible. Visit our webpage for young people, Save for Retirement, at www.socialsecurity.gov/youngpeople/saving.html, because saving money for retirement is not only a good idea, but necessary.
Social Security is far more than just a retirement program. We also make payments to eligible family members of deceased workers, as well as people who have become disabled or who need Medicare. Before I explain those programs to you, I want to tell you what we mean by eligible. In order to receive Social Security payments, a person must have earned 40 credits. When you work and pay Social Security taxes, you earn up to a maximum of 4 credits for each year. So you need 10 years of covered work to become eligible to collect Social Security retirement benefits. In certain circumstances, you can qualify for Social Security disability payments with fewer than the usual 40 credits. If you die, your family may qualify for benefits from your record, even if you have less than 40 credits. When it comes to the Social Security program, many people only think of retirement. And it's true that most of the people getting Social Security receive retirement payments. Although retirement may be a long time away for students and young workers, we want to give you an idea of how we will determine your retirement payments when the time comes. We calculate your payments based on the monthly average of your highest 35 earning years. The amount of your monthly payment will depend on how much money you earned and the age you choose to start collecting benefits. Currently, the earliest point a worker can start collecting Social Security retirement is at age 62, but it is at a reduced rate. Or you can wait until your full retirement age, which for most of you is age 67, because most likely you were born in 1960 or later. The bottom line is, the later you wait to claim your retirement benefits, the higher your monthly payment could be. There are many factors that go into deciding when to retire, such as your current cash needs, your health, your family longevity, whether you plan to work during retirement, whether you have other retirement income sources, your anticipated future financial needs and obligations, and the amount of your future Social Security benefit. Check out socialsecurity.gov/retirement to find out more about this. You may think it is too early for you to think about retirement, but it is never too soon to start planning for it. Later on in this video, we'll cover some steps you can take now to have a comfortable retirement later. By the way, if your parents or grandparents are ready to retire now, tell them to do it online at socialsecurity.gov. It's easy and convenient.
Many other people besides retirees, including young people just like you, can get Social Security. For instance, you or your dependents could be entitled to survivor benefits. Of course, we all hope to live long and healthy lives, but the truth is about 1 in 9 of today's 20-year-olds will die before age 67. The loss of the family wage earner can be devastating, both emotionally and financially. Social Security helps by providing income for the families of workers who die, including families of young workers just like you. Dependents of deceased workers could receive survivor's benefits until they've reached age 18. If they are in high school when they turn 18, they will continue to get benefits until they graduate or turn 19, whichever happens first. For more information, go to socialsecurity.gov and look at the Children's Benefits section. Another way young people can qualify for Social Security payments is through our disability programs. We have two types, Social Security Disability and Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. Slightly more than 1 in 4 of today's 20-year-olds will become disabled before age 67. It is good to know that if that happens, Social Security pays benefits to disabled workers and their families. We pay disability benefits to people who cannot work because they have a medical condition that is expected to last at least 1 year or result in death. We use the 5-step process to decide if you are disabled, where we evaluate your work activity and the severity of your medical condition. If you or someone you know has a medical condition or gets hurt and is unable to work, you or they should visit our website, socialsecurity.gov, for more information on how to apply online for disability. Also, if you become disabled and would like to transition back into the workforce, we have special rules that allows people who get Social Security disability benefits to return to work without losing their monthly benefits. For more information about this, go to socialsecurity.gov and check out our information on work incentives. There are 2 special initiatives related to our disability program that I want to mention here. One is called Compassionate Allowances. It is a way to expedite the processing of Social Security and SSI disability claims for applicants whose medical conditions are so severe that they obviously meet Social Security's definition of disability. The other initiative is for wounded warriors. Military service members can receive expedited processing of disability claims from Social Security if they became disabled while on active duty on or after October 1st, 2001, regardless of where the disability occurs. Young people also can qualify for benefits through the Supplemental Security Income, or SSI program. SSI is a federal income supplement program funded by general tax revenues, not by the taxes people pay into the Social Security Trust Fund. It is designed to help aged, blind, and disabled people who have little or no income, and it provides cash to meet basic needs for food, clothing, and shelter. Many people who receive SSI may not be eligible for Social Security disability because they may not have earned enough credits. People can start receiving SSI at any age. Even children can receive it. See our website for more information about applying for SSI.
Let's talk a little about the future of Social Security. For more than 80 years, the Social Security program has touched the lives of nearly all Americans. In 2015, an estimated 168 million workers will work in covered employment and pay taxes into Social Security. In August 2015, almost 60 million people received a monthly Social Security benefit. However, in the last several decades, a couple of major changes have happened in American society. First, people are living a lot longer than they used to. On average, today's young workers can expect to live about 20 years in retirement. In addition, people are having fewer children than past generations. The end of World War II produced a large spike in births, forming the baby boom generation. Since 1960, the birth rate has declined, which means there will be fewer workers in the future to support the 80 million boomers who are reaching retirement age. The combination of the large baby boomer generation and the increased life expectancy will result in almost 20% of the population being over age 65 by the year of 2035. It is no secret that changes are needed to make sure the Social Security program remains strong, not only for you, but for your children, grandchildren, and of course, future generations. Any changes to the Social Security will need to be worked out between Congress and the President. You should know that Social Security was only meant to be a part of your income during retirement. At your age, you probably spend most of your money on things like rent, a car, food, school, clothes, and having fun. You're probably not really thinking about retirement yet. Most financial advisors say that retirees will need 70% or more of their pre-retirement earnings just to live comfortably. But Social Security makes up only about 40% of those earnings for the average worker. So you will also need savings and investments to make up the difference. We know it's difficult for people who usually don't have much income to start saving for retirement. But through compound interest, even setting aside a small portion of each paycheck can really pay off later. For instance, if you can set aside just $25 a week and can earn 5% annual interest on that money, it will grow to about $165,000 in 40 years. Any amount of money you save can add up over time. One way you can do this is through your job. Ask your employer if you can participate in a retirement savings plan at work. Your employer might even match your contributions to the plan. If your employer doesn't offer a retirement savings plan, check with a bank or other financial institution for ways that you can save and invest on your own. You can also go to socialsecurity.gov/planners, choosetosave.org, or mymoney.gov. Even though retirement may seem light years away, the sooner you start planning and saving, the greater your retirement savings will be. Let's recap. We gave you a brief overview of Social Security and a general concept of how it works. We explained how Social Security keeps track of your earnings. We shared with you the different types of Social Security benefits young people like you might be able to get throughout your lifetime and how you might qualify for these payments. We also shared with you the importance of saving and offered some tips on how to learn more about saving for your retirement. We hope you found this information helpful. Please share this information with your friends and family and let them know that Social Security also engages with young people on social media. For the Social Security Administration, this is Lauren. Thanks again for watching.
Alrighty, again, my name is Cathy Freeman. I am employed here at Active Aging, and we were delighted to be able to provide space for this presentation tonight. Our friends from Social Security could not be here, but they did give me some ideas on things that they felt that should be addressed and provided to our audience. So again, this is basically a Social Security one-on-one overview. Our local office of Social Security is located at the Park Avenue Plaza, and certainly you can go over there, but it is strongly recommended that you call to make an appointment. And also, it's best if you call the national 800 number rather than calling the local office. The national number has longer hours of availability, so you could call, I believe it's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to talk with them or to make an appointment to see someone locally. And the number to call is 1-800-772-1213, again, to make an appointment or to ask questions. Another recommendation that the Social Security Administration has is to visit their website, socialsecurity.gov, which is where you'll find this webinar that we would have been watching tonight too, by the way. But you can set up your own account on the Social Security website, and you can also set up a My Social Security account, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But this is really just a snapshot of some of the most important features of Social Security and supplemental security income. Your Social Security number. Every benefit that you're ever going to be paid out is based on the earnings from your employer or yourself if you were self-employed. So you always want to make sure that information about you is correct. You want to make sure that your name is correct. You want to make sure that your Social Security number is correct. It always has to match up. So look at that information very carefully whenever you receive anything. For children, as soon as a child is born, they need to get a Social Security card. So that's something that you do need to make sure of. You also want to be looking at any information you receive from your employer, in particular your payroll records. And at the end of the year when you get your W-2, you want to be checking that too for accuracy to make sure that all of those numbers are correct and they all add up. You want to check your earnings record on the Social Security statement that is available online to workers who are age 18 and older, and you can do that again by visiting the socialsecurity.gov website, and you go specifically into My Account and then create an account, and it's going to be very specific to you. And it's also very secure as well, because they will make sure that that things are put in place to verify that it's really you that's trying to access your record and not someone else. Earning your Social Security credits. As Angie had said earlier about credits for Medicare, usually you can earn up to 4 credits per year, and most people do need 10 years of work to qualify for a full 40 credits to qualify for your Social Security as well as your Medicare benefits. Younger people will need less credits if they're qualifying for disability or for their family to maybe qualify for survivor benefits. A worker with average benefits can expect a retirement benefit that replaces about 40% of their average lifetime earnings. Only 40%. Social Security was never intended to be your only income when you retire or become disabled, or again, for your family if you should die too early. So it was only meant to just be a part of the income that you would rely on. Social Security benefits. Your Social Security taxes pay for 3 kinds of benefits: retirement, which is what we all hope for, disability, and survivors. If you're eligible for retirement or disability benefits, other members of your family might receive benefits too. So just taking into consideration, if you're married but your spouse, is 62, those things would apply to your spouse. If you would die, your spouse is younger, there's provisions in place if there's still children in the home, or if there's a disabled child that's older that still resides at home. So you want to always keep in touch with the Social Security office. Social Security pays benefits to you when you reach your full retirement age, with reduced benefits available as early as age 62, if you have worked long enough. If you're born in 1944 or earlier, you're eligible for your full Social Security benefit at age 65. If you're born from 1945 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. And the full retirement age will gradually rise until it reaches age 67 for people born from 1955 to 1960. Full retirement age is 67 for anyone born after 1960 at this point. If you delay your retirement beyond your full retirement age, you'll get special credits for each month you don't take benefits until the age of 70. If you choose to delay your retirement past age 65, you should still file for your Medicare benefits 3 months before your 65th birthday. And again, you can do that online by calling Social Security. You can do it those ways. For disability, if you get disability benefits, if you worked long enough to earn enough credits, and if you have a severe physical or mental condition that prevents you from working for at least a year, or if you are terminally ill. Processing disability claims can take several months, so don't wait until you've been out of work for a year to apply for those benefits. Survivors, if you die before certain members of your family, some of your survivors may be eligible for benefits. These include your widow, divorced widowers as well, children, and dependent parents. We have certainly seen people who have been divorced for many, many years, someone who's living on a very small amount of income, and their former spouse passes away, and they may just casually check with the Social Security Administration, and they could find that they qualify for a much larger benefit. So it's always good to check on those things as things in life change. And supplemental security income, or SSI. To get SSI benefits, you must be 65 or older, blind, or disabled. You must also have low income and few resources to get these monthly payments. Both children and adults may qualify for SSI disability benefits. The monthly amount you can receive depends on your income, resources, and where you live. The federal government pays a basic benefit, and some states do add money to your federal benefit. In Pennsylvania, they do add
an amount, but off the top of my head, I do not know what that is. Some people who get SSI also qualify for Medicaid, medical assistance, access, it's called various things. The Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, also known as SNAP, used to be called the food stamps, and other types of help. And you can still get SSI benefits even if you haven't worked. General tax revenues and not Social Security taxes finance SSI. Okay, so when and how to apply for Social Security or SSI. You should apply for retirement benefits about 3 months before the date you want your benefits to start. If you're not ready to retire but are thinking about applying soon, again, you should visit Social Security's website. If you already have enough Social Security credits to qualify for benefits, you can use their online retirement estimator. And the retirement estimator is a convenient, secure, and quick financial planning tool that allows you to create your own personalized what-if scenarios. If you don't already have enough credits to qualify for benefits, there are other benefit calculators at the Social Security website as well. And again, you can apply for your disability or retirement benefits there. You should apply for Social Security or SSI disability benefits if you become too disabled to work. In most cases, you can complete most or all of your disability application on their website. If a family wage earner dies, you should contact Social Security to see if you and other members of your family are eligible for benefits. When you apply for benefits, you need to show documents that prove you're eligible. You're going to need a birth certificate for every family member applying for the benefits, a marriage license, and your most recent W-2 forms or your tax forms if you're self-employed. Contacting Social Security. Again, the most convenient way to contact them anytime is to visit their website, socialsecurity.gov. And again, there you can apply for benefits, open a My Social Security account, which you can use to review your Social Security statement, verify your earnings, print a benefit verification letter, which is very important because sometimes people maybe misplace the one that they do receive every year and they need a replacement to apply for various benefits. You can change your direct deposit information. You can request a replacement Medicare card. People do lose their Medicare cards. Hi, Angie. Yes. Or they become a little worn with age in someone's wallet, so you can always get a replacement card, and it is good to have one and make sure that you can read it. And you can also get any replacement 1099s. Again, that's the statement of how much you have made in Social Security. You can get information, find publications, and get answers to frequently asked questions. To contact them again, their number is 1-800-772-1213, or persons who are deaf or hard of hearing can use their TTY line at 1-800-325-0778. Again, my apologies for not being able to show you the Medicare one-on-one webinar. It is available on their website, though. I would certainly encourage and invite you to visit that website. There is a wealth of information on that site, and it will certainly not disappoint you. There's anything there you could possibly want to know. And also really good section on frequently asked questions, and that is where a lot of us do go for information. So please do visit their website, and again, if you need to contact them, call them on that national phone number that they have. And I thank you.
A big thank you to Active Aging for having us each month. Again, we are always here the fourth Tuesday of every month through November. Actually, we will be. So be sure to check out the upcoming topics that we will be having. And thank you so much to Armstrong for recasting or re-showing these topics and seminars for all of the community to see. Thank you to Angie, the expert in the field. We appreciate you being here very much. I would like to mention an upcoming event that the Chamber has next weekend, August 4th and 5th, is Thunder in the City in town, in the community, free for everyone. There is so much going on. We have live bands all weekend. We have car show, car cruise in, Corvette Parade, the Rusty Hanaway Memorial Bike Parade on Saturday. We have a dunking booth competition that will benefit Special Olympics. We have the Robobots team from Cochranton and people that will be here doing the Robobots demonstration if you've never seen that. We have a cornhole tournament, the Channel Lock Challenge, where you can display your motorcycle and win that coveted People's Choice Award winner, and great live music all weekend. So a lot happening next weekend, August 4th and 5th, so be sure to stop downtown for the free live entertainment and fun food, games, and vendors all through Chestnut Street. So thank you so much for coming this evening. We appreciate it very much. And thank you again to Cathy and to Angie for being our featured speakers this evening. And drive safe home, everybody. Thank you.